This town is crying out, fuck all the trends. Bakers grabbing coffee with some underground gems. It's Rogues FM. Rogues FM.
It is I, your Nan's wallpaper. How you doing? Good to see you. You look good tonight. This is perhaps a very late episode because I've finally got my drummer, my man Neil, on. He's been very busy with his uni work, but he's finally had time to swing by and chat shit to me. There's no plan in this. It's just really us two, just talking about anything and everything, and it's a load of fun, and we touch on a lot of good things. So I hope you enjoy it. So let's get into it. Neil.
Hello. How you doing, my man?
You're right, man.
Yeah, not too bad. How you been?
I've actually, you know what, been all right. I've been all right. Today's been all right. Yesterday's been all right, and I'll take that over being like total shit. You know, I'll take the all right.
All right tends to be better than that.
Yeah, literally. You're finishing your third year right now, aren't you? In
Yes.
lockdown. You're doing like your exams.
Yeah, final year.
That's
Hopefully.
fucking.
Unless I fail, we'll see.
That's fucking weird. Like, is that, other than weird, like, is that just not how you saw this coming? Like, I would never expect people to finish university at home.
I mean,
that's,
yes.
I don't understand.
So, like, I mean, it's especially, I mean, obviously you've got the weirdness of not being at uni and stuff like that, especially post exams, whenever, and just kind of goes a bit mental, which is what you look forward to. Like, this bit itself actually isn't that different at the moment because I'm just at home revising. Like, it's not really.
Yeah.
Like, nothing would be happening now anyways, but like my graduation's been moved back and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, I'm kind of ready to not study anymore. So,
Yeah.
like,
You showed me what you were doing because you made a formula because you're doing I don't know what's the correct wording for it that you're doing because I don't know the words.
It was an economic model for the profitability of touring as a musician, and the result is essentially don't be a musician. So
yeah, it's. I mean, like I understand nothing about maths or like economics or life for that matter, but like. You don't, but like when I saw what you had written out and the way you did, even I don't really understand formulas. I was like, oh, that makes sense because you added all the equations, all of like the things that take and give money away, and then everything else. And it's like, did you have to modify it because of Corona? I'm curious, like because God knows what it's going to be like now, the industry after this.
Yeah. So. Luckily that this whole situation worked in my favor in terms of talking about the importance of what I was doing because like, I started working on this back in October last year. So obviously there was no idea that any of this would happen. And this happening just like after the fact, I just kind of added a line in being like, and because of coronavirus, it's especially important. So yeah, it didn't really affect it that much. I at that point, I'd done so much work on it. I was just like, I'm not changing.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. You shouldn't have. It's just like, it was just really cool to see because I don't think I've seen studies about that area of it. Like the whole idea, because most people they would go, oh, musicians make album, musicians go on tour, they do the tour, they get all the money, but they don't really. It's like they get a bit of, from what I know at least, they get a bit off the merch and a tiny bit off the shows, and everything else just goes.
Yeah,
because it's not really theirs. It's record labels, or it's like crew, or it's just like distributing the thing itself, whether that's physically or digitally. Is like there's so much to it, and it's such a ball like. It's such a ball like. Don't be a musician.
There is no research in the area. Well, there is some, but it's very limited, and a lot of it is very technical, and it's not really for the artist. It's kind of like how to make money out of an artist you've signed, rather than like the other side of it. So the idea was to make something that people in the future could like build off of and keep building research off of. Obviously, no one's going to read it because I'm a uni student writing a dissertation. But in theory,
you say that, but like it's so valid and it's really cool because, like I said, I think you said it too. Like this is a whole new field way of looking at it. Like it's a very unique thing that you've put together, and it could be so handy, especially after all this. Like it's so cool. It's really cool, man. It's
yeah, I mean,
fucking beautiful.
it was very fun to put together. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think it went well. We'll see if it went well, and then if it did, I'll send it to people. If not, then
Then
let it out the interview.
I will not put this online. This will remain in my folders forever, and I'll watch it and cry every night. I mean, like you said about well, I guess it's obviously not just you right now. Everyone who's finishing like dissertations or exams, whatever year, the big highlight of those things is like you get to go and get fucked afterwards in many a form, and it's like we can't, obviously for the obvious reasons we can't have that right now. But when I went down to visit you in Warwick, I am right. Your university is in Warwick. I'm not being an idiot. Like,
Yeah, my
we
uni.
did go to Warwick.
The uni is Warwick Uni, but it's in Coventry.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking in my head, Coventry, but then like I don't know, I got completely mixed up there. Also, don't really remember a lot of what happened that night because things happened. When I came down to visit you, that was the first time, other than River Purple, your first band, that was the first time I really got like a sense of like your local music scene, like the band societies from the uni, and like from the uni alone as well. It's just like fucking incredible what you have down there, and
Oh,
it's just so vast and it's so fun. Like,
it's definitely the thing I'm gonna miss most. Like that group of people
yeah,
is very like it's kind of like I mean obviously in St Albans we've got the kind
yeah,
of scene as it were that is really great and really kind of wholesome and
so
very
much.
supportive of each other, and it's
Yeah,
just it's great to have that when I'm at home and also have that when I'm at uni. Like
yeah,
it's just nice to be surrounded by musicians who are willing to give time for each other
yeah.
at every point.
There's a proper sense of that. There's a real sense because obviously in St Albans, there's like it's not built around the uni. It's just like the Horn and the Flying Cocks and empty events and all that. And it's like everyone does band together, and you occasionally get like members in other bands. So like Mia's in King Violet and Wink, and you get like Johnny, who's a drummer for all the bands ever, like Mighty Orchard King and Bison Face. But then like at your uni, it's like everyone supports and plays for everyone. Like you drum for about two or three bands. Sam does bass and guitar, and then like Will was like vocalist for you guys in Glass Flower and solo. It's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's
it's
everyone's
so much
everyone. It's so
like
cool though.
it's great. Like Sam, you've mentioned Sam in particular. Like
Yeah,
in Battle of the Bands this year, he played bass in my band Overcoast. He played
yeah.
guitar in my band Glassflower. He was in the final drumming in a band called Solar, and he also happens to be a decent singer. And it's just like
Dude is
piss
awesome.
off.
And also he has a fucking beautiful mustache. He's a dashing
I
lad.
think he's shaved it. I
Oh,
think
he has
he's
shaved it. When I was down there though, he had the mustache and it was beautiful.
yeah.
And I
That
remember
was
that was when
was it
was that? December?
November? It was November.
November,
That was when it was.
November.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was an awesome night because that's when you introduced me to bloody. See, I can't remember the name of the place, Casper's, and that place just blew my mind.
Oh,
Casper's is just a oh, dude, I think that's like one of the best club nights I've been on because it's like I knew other than you and like Luke and all the Glassflower lads, I didn't know like pre-post until I got there. I didn't know anyone like that. I didn't know like how cheap the drinks were compared to
oh yeah.
London. How it was like £1 for a Jaeger shot, £1.50 for a double vodka, and I'm there like, fuck.
Yeah. They get you with that. So,
Oh, dude, you fed me that night. You just kept putting it in my mouth, and then
I don't remember.
you literally just you kept going like Gingy, bitch, here, bar now, and you just yeah, like
Don't-
across the dance floor and in the rock room, like
I've never used Gingy in my life.
Yes, you have. When you're drunk, you just go, Gingy. You just have a go at me across the room, and it was just because that was after the first Glassflower gig because they put a bad night at Casper, the nightclub, and like talk to me about Glassflower because I fucking love you guys, and you haven't got anything out yet, no? But
No. So what the plan was obviously we had Battle of the Bands kind of goes through term 2 at
yeah,
Warwick, and after that, so after March we were meant to look at recording, and we talked about what we wanted to record. We have a
oh,
list of what we want
good,
to record and everything, and
yeah,
how we're going to do it. So like as soon as possible, essentially, we will record. It's just
yeah.
give the current time. We only need like 1 day in a studio as well because we're not doing everything in a studio. We're just doing drums in the studio, and then
Oh,
we're
okay,
doing vocals and guitars, everything back at home.
yeah,
But yeah, we've got the songs. We know the songs. So as soon
yeah.
as this is all over, it should be out pretty soon.
And I can't wait for that because like when especially from that first gig, the only time I've seen you guys because obviously you mainly gig down there, but like you guys are just so good. It's
Thank you.
so good. Like it's just so like dreamy and sweet and like just really nice balance of like just pop and like I don't want to say psychedelic, but like what's a word for like sci-fi psychedelic, like that sort of like ethereal
I
Tame
think
Impala.
ethereal is kind of a good way to go at it.
Yeah,
If you're looking for a more formal thing, I guess some people have described as having a very slight prog influence,
yeah,
like a
yeah.
little
I
bit,
can hear that.
which might be what that is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't really. I don't really. I'm not really involved in that. I
But
just drum.
don't say that to Lewis because I just drum. Don't say that to Lewis. He'll just wank off about Tool for half an hour. He just won't shut the
Oh
fuck
god.
up. Even now, he won't shut the fuck up about it.
Oh my days. When we went to I don't know if you're getting onto this at any point, but obviously we're in Rogues Gallery together.
Yeah.
But we were so when we went to Leeds to record, uh,
Oh,
Lewis was just
yeah.
consistently drunk and
Yeah, he
consistently
was.
going on about Tool. I think we had.
What?
I think
Oh.
me and him had a what he calls a 15-minute conversation about Tool, but was him talking to me for 15 minutes while I went through a bottle.
You just cleared it, the whole thing. Because he just wouldn't. Because weren't we like trading, like, oh, here's my favorite album of the last 20 years or something? We'll
Yeah,
name me off ones.
yeah.
And then he just goes, Tool, over and over again. And it's just like, Lewis, no. And he just keeps talking about them. Lewis, we love you, but we know.
The best part was when
We
he
know.
started it was when he started playing. He was like, "Oh, I'll just play a couple Tool songs," and then it was like 15
All of them.
minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, let me put one on. And you're like, Lewis, no, this one's 12 minutes long. He goes, yeah, I know. I hate him.
What a man!
I hate him. What a man. Oh, so yeah, like first off, you had Glassflower. Are we allowed to talk about River Purple, like the band before?
We are allowed to talk about River Purple. Yes.
We are allowed. Is it one of the rules of
Yes.
Purple Club? Can we talk about it?
We talk about River Purple, but it has to be through with a feeling of disdain.
Oh,
That's
okay,
that's the
okay.
rule.
So like,
Yeah. So
come on, exceed it.
River Purple was my first band ever.
Yeah,
So when I came to uni, I hadn't been in a band before, and River Purple was my first band and kind of a precursor to Glassflower because half of
just
us
half
are
of it. Yeah,
still there, yeah. And the sound kind of deviated, but wasn't like a massive shift. But yeah, so River Purple itself, I have very fond memories of. It was a great time. It got me into
you
playing
guys are
music,
good.
but
Yeah,
I listened back to I actually listened back to Serpentine, which is off our first EP the other day
it's the best
because
song
it
ever.
came on.
It's the
No,
best song ever. It's the
no,
best song ever.
stop, stop,
It's the best
shut up,
song.
Gingy.
There you go. I was joking. Serpentine, I will gladly say for you all, Serpentine is not the best song of all time.
It's
It's not
terrible.
great. It's
It's
not great.
fucking bad.
I'm sorry, Will. I
I
love you, but like, does Will like it?
no,
Oh, okay, right, okay, cool, okay,
I know.
cool.
We've kind of yeah. It'll hold a place in my heart forever, but it's
Yeah,
the thing I listen to. And I'm like, I have improved. This is
yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's like
But
because the River Purple stuff is still on Spotify, right? You haven't taken it down. Like it's
yeah.
all still there. You're not gonna hide it.
Oh no, we're not. Yeah, we're not planning on doing anything like that. There is the only thing I've ever wanted to take down was there's a video that Will made on his phone in like 5 minutes of like a backstage creation of Serpentine.
Oh, really?
That's on YouTube.
Oh, I've seen that. I like that. It's kind of cute. It's cute. You look great in it. You look
No.
fantastic.
No.
Link in
We
the
don't.
bio.
We.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'll leave
The
it.
only reason I haven't taken it down is because I can't find the password anywhere. Please.
Oh, dude. But like, I just like, especially when I saw you guys with a purple. I think when was that? Limited and Spa. That was the very start of 2019. The very start,
Yeah.
I think, because
Yeah.
you had
We didn't know each other that well at that
no,
time.
we didn't. Like we. I'm trying to think because I came down with Wink to do photos for them, and obviously like they were supporting you, and it was Ellie Dixon too, who's just another fucking just
Big
yeah,
big shout out to her. Go
huge,
listen to her
biggest,
most recent single is Ugly.
ugly,
It's on
yeah.
listen to it. It's
She
great.
is so good, unbelievable. Like
She's insanely good.
just the most humble and talented.
I
So
mean,
good.
she just gets better as well. So she took a year out to pursue music, and she
Right.
was already insanely because she's a year above me, so she graduated last year.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So so at the end of that year, like you saw her perform, she
Mm.
was exceptionally good, like beyond
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
beyond anyone at uni level.
Yeah.
And this year she's taken out. Like we saw her play in February, I want to say,
Okay.
just just getting better and better. Like it's so professional now. Like you don't realize when you're seeing local bands that like you have
Yeah.
fun with them and they feel good, but they're not necessarily the most professional.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
realize that until you see
Yeah.
someone come from that local scene actually playing with a level of professionalism like that.
Yeah, like we in Rogues, we're not professional in the slightest.
Oh,
But like
but that's part of the
that
charm.
part of the charm, yeah, it's what sells us. But like with Ellie, it's like she's professional, she's very hardworking, she's like on that straight line. But like she's still just so fun. Like there's no ego to her. She doesn't like demand anything. Like she just plays these shows and records these songs because she likes it, and that's it.
Oh,
Like that's it.
she's she's just a creator. Like you get those
Yeah,
people who just very very good at creating, and
yeah.
that's her pretty much.
She's so good.
Like we had a, and that's in everything. Like she's just because obviously she works very hard on all the videos and stuff as well,
Yeah,
and she's very good with video editing, and she produces all her own stuff. Like she's just got the whole
yeah.
everything you need.
Everything you need, nothing you don't. Like it's just good pop music, great pop music, and like I'm just trying to think, like who else do you have down there, like other than the bands you're in? Oh, actually, no, because you mentioned Battle of the Bands 5 minutes ago, and I had the light bulb moment. Can we please talk about Pascal and the PDF files? Can we please talk
Oh,
about this? Because A, I want to edit in the photos of you in this band into this video, and B, I want you to retell me the story of this band because it is incredible.
so
Pascal and the PDF files, please. Like,
so in my first year, uh, I was Justin River Purple, and there was a band who played in Battle of the Bands. Came
yeah.
out of nowhere, like no one knew who the fuck these guys were, and they called themselves Pascal and the PDF files. Um, and they got to the final of the Battle of the Bands playing this joke parody
Oh,
music
dude.
that was just the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Dude.
And then the next year, like everyone just kind of went, okay, well that happened, and
Yeah.
they came fourth in the competition. But then the next year, like I didn't know who had been in Pascal or anything like that,
Right.
and I met these two people, and they Alessandra and Pierre, and they came to my show with Nicola, who was the lead singer of Pascal, and it turns out they were all from Pascal, and they saw me play River Purple, and
Oh, dude.
because their drummer had left, they were just like, "We want you," and yeah, I'd never really been in a, you know, it's a different skill being in a comedy band like that,
Yeah.
but it was we had songs about did we have songs? What were our songs about?
What did you have songs about? Did you have
Nothing.
a? Did you have the Spanish one?
We had a Spanish one, yeah. It was
Yeah.
Despacito too. Um, yeah, it was just a parody because every reggaeton song sounds the same. It's like boom, ba ba boom,
Yeah.
like every single song is like that. So it was just that with Nicola is Italian, so he was just kind of singing Italian lyrics over that were absolute trash. Like just the most ridiculous shit you've ever heard, and that was the whole concept of it. Because Yeah, everyone there is their own is a
Yeah.
very good musician on its own. Like Nicola is a rapper under the name Chavez, so check him out on Spotify. He's very good. Uh, and obviously I'm in my bands. Pierre and Alessandro is an insane guitarist. Pierre's just a great musician to the point where he picked up bass solely for Pascal and the PDF files.
Wow.
And then we've got a singer called Briadish, who's the best singer I know, and that's like without a doubt. And it was just a group of people that you would not expect to play music together because it's all very different styles, and we just kind of got together and made probably
You made something.
we made something, and people seem to like it. I don't know
like
how.
there's the video you made, the was it the semi-final, where you made like the grand entrance with the hoods and the cloaks,
Oh yeah,
with like the choir music.
that was the group stage. So basically, because I was for the last 2 years I was president of the band society at my uni. So in Battle of the Bands, every kind of person who came on stage, one of the exec members had to introduce the band.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, River Purple," or whatever.
Yeah.
And no one knew that I was in Pascal because we kept it secret all year by like practicing at 8 a.m. and stuff like that. Like no one knew that Pascal was coming back. We'd signed ourselves up under a fake name as LinkedIn Park.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I just came up with this random robe and just kind of went, "Ladies and gentlemen, LinkedIn Park," and then turned around and sat behind the drum kit
Oh, dude.
to wait like 10 seconds for the chant to start. So
Oh
yeah.
my gosh! And this was the same night you had the leather print vest, right? Or like, so what was it?
Yes.
You
It
weren't
was
wearing a
it
cowboy
was a
hat, were you?
sleeveless fur
That's it, yeah.
shirt and a cowboy hat.
And a cowboy hat. Because I remember the video, you standing up and going like, like the most intense stare in your eye. You just throw this cowboy hat into the crowd, and it's just the coolest thing ever. It's just like that must have been such like a great way for you as well, just like completely smash your own walls of like confidence, or like just complete lack of like self-awareness, because if you take yourself too seriously, everyone's going to see the opposite,
I'm
you know?
glad I'm
Like,
glad you've touched on that because
yeah,
there's if you look at me playing like before
yeah,
Pascal and after Pascal, you see a remarkable difference, like a complete change in my
oh
stage
yeah,
presence.
yeah,
Like now I'd say my stage presence is probably one of the best parts of my playing,
yeah.
which is great because it's not even part
You
of my playing.
found it.
But
Yeah, you found such a
yeah, it and that came because in Pascal and the PDF files, as a drummer, you can't really the only way you can contribute to the comedy of it is by your actions and
yeah.
how you act, and just kind of being forced to do that was kind of a trial by fire way of doing that, and it worked wonders for me.
Yeah, because like I remember you saying about how like when you showed me that video, I mean, I was surprised that you done that at that point in your life, if you know what I mean. Because I remember you saying about how like obviously because you're very new drummer, that was your first ever band, River Purple. It was still shy, but it was still fun. But like to have that as your second project, keeping it secret while still being the head of the band society in your uni, and then just to completely like just literally tear off the layers and just like do that shit is just so like that's just so cool
I
as,
mean,
as a mate to see as well. Just for you to do that, it was just fun, and it's just a great way for you just to burst any bubbles. Like,
thanks. I mean, I've got to give credit.
yeah,
I've got to say a massive thank you for that to the people from Pascal because like
wherever they
that gig
are.
that I wherever they are now, but that gig that the gig that I played where they came to see me and see if I was like worth joining the band was like the biggest shit show of a gig from my point of view
Right.
ever. Like I'd forgotten everything for some. It's the only time I've forgotten my gear to a gig. Like I'd forgotten my drum
Oh
stool, I'd
shit,
forgotten my snare, forgotten all my stands, forgotten my sticks, like everything.
dude.
And it was probably the worst I'd played ever. I was like playing like sitting on a bin, and yeah, somehow they still saw that there might be a place for me in that band. So they probably just saw
Oh.
this guy's a fucking joke. That fits perfectly. But
Like you just proved it all, man. Like you just put it all on the line and it worked. And you just managed to, again, like last year or this year just gone, you managed to make a dent in your own society. by just being a complete fuck up of a band, and it was beautiful. Because did I remember the clip of I don't know if I'm just imagining this or not. Like the one of the vocalists in the band introducing you with like a really racist name. Like didn't he completely take the piss out of you?
Yeah.
Like this is my our drummer Neil Huri.
I believe it was in Neil Hoban de Putra Madre de la Vega Santos or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember Santos at the end.
yeah, it was all the names were just ridiculous. Like, yeah, it was something else. It was great on the poster as well because they had everyone's name and then mine was just really small font just all the way across.
All the way. It was beautiful. So far we've had like sort of ethereal prog rock ticked off, and then you have I guess piss take ticked off
Yeah.
on Resonate.
Comedy
Then
R&B, we call
comedy
it.
R&B, C&B, and then you have I guess like hard rock ticked off through Rogues, but also like now you kind of have with Overcoast. I don't know. I don't know a good genre to describe you. Again, probably other than hard rock, but like it's not emo, it's not goth, but like
There's a little grey area in the middle of all of it.
yeah.
That's kind of where we are.
I don't know. I'd say maybe the Overcoast are the most proggiest out of the four you have. Because there's a lot of like, from what I hear at least, I remember I think it's Atlantis, like the lead line at the start, the one that's like,
Oh yeah.
like there's just
That,
so, and you have that song with like 10 time signatures.
oh, we cut that.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah, no. We might come back to. I don't know. We are continuing next year, but it's yeah, it was not going to be ready for Battle of the Bands, so we were just like, let's try a song in 4/4 instead and get that ready, and then come back to this one. Yeah, no, that one because that one went it was like a bar of 4/4, 5/4, 7/4, 3/4
Yeah.
on a loop, and that just was a headache.
How did Overcoast come about? Because again, it's an amalgamation of other band members, and but also Overcoast is stellar, like
It's
so good.
it's definitely. I mean, the last gig at this moment that I've played was the Battle Band's final with Overcoast, which we won. So that's like definitely my kind of pinnacle at the moment of everything that I've done. So it's kind of a nice thing that was the last gig I've played before quarantine. But yeah, to go back to what you were asking, Overcoast came about. So basically, me and Ollie, who's the lead singer, and he's also in a band called Goldreed. Who you've got. I'm just plugging everyone. Check them out.
Plug everyone. Plug everyone. Gold Reed are also stellar. Like
very good. But so I was in River Purple, obviously, which was a very kind of indie band, and Goldreed are also very indie. And at the time, those were kind of our only bands, and you wouldn't expect anything heavy to come out of that, really. And essentially, what happened was, so I was in second year, I lived in a house that was very full of rats. So I was finding because my kind of housemates were very unclean, and so I was trying to find a way out of that. And Ollie lived with the rest of Goldrick as well, who are all very good friends of mine. And I was looking to move in with them because they had a vacancy pop up. And so, like a couple of weeks before I was due to move in with them, I kind of thought maybe I should hang out with them, get to know them a bit better, and so forth. Because they were in the band society, but we never really kind of gelled. And so I went to this club night, and I hadn't had a ticket, so I had to queue up. So I was there like super early, like 2 hours before they were going to.
Shit.
But Ollie was also there because he had been on campus all day. And so me and Ollie just ended up getting drunk for 2 hours, just us two, in this very empty club, before everyone actually turned up, and just started shooting shit about life. And yeah, that was kind of the basis for our friendship, which is a very strong friendship now. But I think at some point in that, I very hazily remember Ollie saying like how he felt like he didn't have, like he had so many ideas essentially that he wanted to use but wouldn't fit Goldreed. And I just kind of went, well, and because I was very drunk, I was like, well, you fucking start another band then. And then the next day, I get a notification, and he's just started a group chat with me, Eden, who's a guitarist from Solar, Sam, who plays bass, and Luke, who's my bandmate from River Purple, and Glassflower.
Yeah.
And we all just kind of went, what is this? And he was like, do you want to join this band? And we were basically just kind of like, I don't know. And then he sent a demo of a song called Sedative, which became our first single.
Yes.
We were like,
yes.
okay, we'll do.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was essentially the start of it. Was a very drunken night, as where all things start.
Sedative is just a great single as well. Like I remember that weekend again when I came down and we all died. Especially yeah, especially Ollie. I still have pictures on my phone of Ollie somehow getting into the band room, even though he didn't have a wristband or anything, and he was like covered in like writing, like half naked on his chest, and he was just going like Neil, Neil, and like dragging his like lifeless body across the room. And I remember at one point, you was like, "I'm gonna fucking hit you if you don't shut the fuck up. I'm gonna
Well,
smack
okay,
you."
hang on.
And then,
So that
and
was
then,
some
go on.
context to that.
Okay, yeah, give context, please.
Someone like we were all having a really deep chat backstage, like with people who were meant to be there. So,
Yeah.
the band and you because
Oh
you came
yeah.
with me,
Yeah, yeah.
and Brilliant, who's a photographer, a great photographer.
She's awesome. Yeah.
And we were all having really deep chats about where we'd come from, and kind of I think it was about race and stuff like that.
I didn't say a word of this because I was just like,
well, because we were talking about instances of racism,
yeah.
and it's a very deep chat.
It was, yeah, I remember that.
And then Ollie just bursts into the room, and he's not meant to be there, and he just starts spewing absolute shit for like 10 minutes while we're trying to steam chat. And you can just see everyone getting visibly frustrated with him. And I just kind of went, Ollie, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna slap you. And he didn't shut up. I was like, well, I've got to do it now. I said got to stick up to what I said. And
Yeah.
I was also drunk, and it turns out that I slapped him a bit harder than intended.
Dude, it was so loud. It was so loud. It echoed. Like you stood up and you just went, and you walked over and literally went, like fucking like Kane 2002 WWE uppercut,
The best,
and like for the championship.
best thing is we have me and him have had no recollection of that until we were told about it. So we were completely fine the next few days and everything until you told.
I had to leave at 7 o'clock the next morning, and we didn't get back till 5. And Ollie came back with us, and we had to get 3 separate Ubers to get everyone back. We went to McDonald's. We finally got back to yours. I crashed on your sofa at 5 a.m. And then I get up at 6:30 to get the train at 7 from a station next door to you, and you're still sitting where you were. I left you, and then I'm like, "You're good," and you're just like, "Yeah, I haven't moved. I've just been sitting here, and everything's spinning. I haven't moved. I can't drive you. We got to walk. I'm sorry."
The worst bit was the reason I hadn't slept was because Ollie had slept or had fallen asleep on my bed.
Yeah, Ollie was
Like
passed out in
he
your
come
bed.
back to mine and he was like, "Oh, I'll go back in like 5 minutes. I'm just gonna chill here for a bit," and then just knocked out. I was like, so I was just there with you on my sofa and Ollie on my couch. I was just like Ollie on my bed. I was just, where the fuck am I meant to go?
You just stayed sitting there on the fucking.
Yeah. After, I mean, I assume at that point, I still remember slapping Ollie, so I didn't have the heart to
Yeah,
wake him up.
it was a big slap. It was so just the magnitude of that slap was just earth shattering, and because he was just off, he was out of it. He was just out of it. And then I remember at one point, I think it might have been Will who found like a bottle of water in the air vent in one of the rooms. Do you remember this? Because I
Yes.
think someone
Yeah.
said, I think you might have been a member of a Purple, threw it up there.
That was our first gig.
That was your first gig. You threw this water bottle into this air vent.
No,
And
that's the thing. We didn't throw a water bottle. We threw
oh,
beer bottles.
you threw beer bottles. Even
And
worse.
and so we checked to see. I didn't at the time. I was sober.
Yeah.
I didn't drink at the time.
Yeah.
But so this was my first gig, and it was only like 3 days after meeting the rest of the band.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know what kind of people they were. And we were backstage, and out of nowhere, it seems like Luke and Tim, who is our old rhythm guitarist, just get up, like smash open this panel, and just start chucking beer bottles up. I'm just kind of freaking out. It's like everything my mum's told me about being a musician is true. They're all degenerates.
But they were still there when you looked in the
thing. I mean, that was the thing. Like we checked, and more things were there each time.
Yeah.
So, like we popped it open at that gig that you were at, and the water bottle was unexpected.
Unexpected.
Yeah. And what did Will do with the? What did Will do with the bottle?
I think he just kept it in there. I don't see why he'd take it out. I remember we find like flares or smoke grenades or something like that.
Yes.
And then maybe I shouldn't be saying this. I feel like I shouldn't be. Yeah, so I think it was Seb found like it was either like mini smoke grenades or flares or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a box of
I
them.
advised against anyone taking any property. I will say that.
Yeah. Seb didn't listen to you. Seb
Yeah.
Seb took those things home. And like when we went down to Lewis's to record in Leeds, they were in his room. The box is still there. The box of like just
Just
flares and
didn't
shit.
even use them. Just kept them there. Fucking
You just kept them
kleptomania.
there. You just kept them. Oh, dude. I miss everything. I miss everything.
It's
I still remember I was saying to Lewis yesterday, we need to when we're allowed outside again, when it's all blows over, we need to go to another one of the lock-ins at the Swan, like we did after our first gig. Well, that's like 3 a.m. Do you remember the pub we went to? I
no.
just after our first gig, we tried going spoons and it was packed, and then we just legged it, and then we went to the Swan, and they were doing a lock-in that night, and we were there till about 3 a.m. I
If you
feel like
say
you
so.
might have left around one. You might have left around one. It was I remember because like
No,
everyone just
because
kept disappearing over the night. But
no, because we did have there were pictures of there was a video of us taking a shot
taking
together.
the
It was like
shots, yeah,
there. Yeah.
that was there. Yeah, that was at the Swan because it was at
Okay.
over 21's pub. But our friend Richard works behind the bar and he got us in, all of us in. It was so great. Such, but yeah, we need
Oh
to.
yeah, because I was wearing a because
We're in a vest.
in the middle of summer I was wearing like
Yeah,
a sleeveless vest, and they were like, okay, you can come in, and then there's a guy behind me wearing just like normal clothes but just wearing like trainers, and they were like, nah.
yeah. So weird. I remember that.
Yeah, and I just heard the guy behind me just going, "What? He's literally wearing a vest." I just legged it. I was just like,
Legged it.
"Oh."
Yo, no. I remember at the end of that we all left because there was like someone was throwing glass at someone or something like that. Someone because I think you left around half one, but all there to like the very pretty much the very end. Actually, no, I think you stayed till the end because then we end up at Lewis's eating carrots and hummus.
Yes, yeah, we
You were
did.
there till the end. Yeah, that was that night
I remember that bit.
because he took a photo of me like with my head in my hands, just like
Yeah, while Lewis was doing his weird kind of Scarlet Witch pose in the corner with
yeah.
him.
Regarding Overcoast, like especially for you and also Ollie, because Ollie was obviously was in Goldreed. Was that like again like another bit of confidence in like knowing what you can and can't do as like your role as musician? Because like Overcoast is can be quite aggressive. They could be
Yeah,
sad, but they can be very hard. Well, you hit hard, you hit fucking hard. Was it you told me that on the first rehearsal? It might have been a different band, but like you broke your drumsticks or something.
first gig. Yeah, first gig, first
Yeah,
hit. I broke a new
first
pair
hit,
of
just
sticks. I was like,
fucking
"Oops."
yeah.
Yeah, still got that stick somewhere. But
Nice.
yeah, not at the time. I was kind of that's the thing with Overcoast. By that point, I felt confident in my abilities for the first time when I started that band because by that point, I had so in my second year, I'd done River Purple and Pascal as my main bands,
Yeah.
but I also had a lot of side projects. I was like in a doom metal project with a doom metal project called Crone for a few months, which is obviously very aggressive and stuff like that. So I'd covered those bases, and by that point, I'd kind of done that thing where I'd tried a bit of everything. Tried a bit of every genre. I felt. I know because it's the amalgamation of that being like, okay, now I'm gonna take everything that I've learned from all these and put it into one thing.
Yeah.
So kind of yes and no. It kind of more reaffirmed the confidence that I started to have rather than gave me confidence.
Yeah. And like you say confidence is such a great word because especially through things like Purple and Pascal and Overcoast and Glassfowl, like you it's really just again as like your mate, like me just to watch you, you just like you're constantly growing and like you're just getting better and better, not only as a drummer, but just like to yourself as well. And it's
Oh,
beautiful to
I
see.
would say that
Like
I'd say the same about you massively. I mean, not about drumming, but singing and guitar.
yeah.
But yeah, no, because we when we met a few years ago, we were I'd say both very very different people with
Yeah.
our own kind of issues and stuff like that. And I
Yeah.
think through music, we both kind of grown to a very good place and
I'd
continue to.
say. Yeah,
So,
I'd say.
quite nice.
It is. It's so sweet. Like it's so oh man, thank you. Cheers. I love you, man. Oh, 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 my heart just went a little bit then. Cheers. But like I remember when you were. Are we allowed to talk about the secret tattoo?
Yes, but I won't show this video to my mom.
Okay. We can not if you don't want to.
No, we talk about it.
Okay. I remember. So actually, no. You tell a story. You tell a story because it's not fair for me to. You have to talk about it. It's your.
So
Oh! Dope. There he goes. Nice shirt, by the way. I rate that. Fucking dope.
Yeah, I just had to close the windows. So yeah, basically the whole thing with that was when I was young, it's kind of from like the ages of 15, 16 to 19, I'd had a lot of kind of self-esteem issues and just anger management and just a whole bunch of shit like that needed sorting.
Yeah.
And they'd just come from places of being, I could talk about where they came from, but it doesn't really matter. But like they were there.
Yeah.
And essentially, it took me a long time to get over that. And I became a very self-destructive person in my relationships and my friendships and stuff like that. Like I'd be the kind of guy who'd constantly be looking for a fight and stuff like that because I didn't think I deserved nice things. And I constantly like the reason I didn't join a band till uni or anything like that was because I was constantly like afraid that it was just going to be another thing I kind of sucked at. Like it was a very, very kind of bad headspace to be in. And that lasted a few years and it was just kind of getting worse and worse. Even after I joined River Purple, it was still there for a while. It only kind of helped it a bit. And it took me until halfway through being 19 to really, I turned 21 a couple of days ago, but it took me halfway through till being 19 to kind of finally get the help I needed and talk about it to people. And like going back to people like Gold reading the Dixon and the Band Society and you guys in Rogues and everything, like who I've become close to in that time, you guys have definitely been a massive help because it feels like I've got proper, like very good friends for the first time. And and so I kind of worked through all of that stuff and I finally started feeling good about myself for the first time when I was 20. And I kind of, I'd been thinking about getting a tattoo for for a while, and I wanted the first one to be kind of something very personal, and like so something kind of very concealed normally, but like, and maybe a bit shit, but just something that meant a lot to me. And I heard that Naomi, my friend from Goldread, had a kit, and that made perfect sense because like, well, what's more personal than a very good friend of yours giving you what you want? And so at that point, I knew who I wanted it from. I knew where I wanted it, which was on my ribs. And the only thing left was what to get. And I've been thinking about it for a long while. And then I heard this song called 10 out of 10 by Rex Orange County. And I'm not actually a fan of the song. That's the that's the weird bit about it. Like the song itself, I'm just kind of like, eh. But the so the lyrics kind of talk about kind of this idea of being a 10 and kind of not living up to that and kind of how it's okay not to live up to that and to just and be like, well, I'm gonna be a 10. I'm a 10 anyway because I'm trying to be a 10 rather than or at least that's the meaning I interpreted from it. And the lyrics kind of hit home and they kind of reminded me of a time when I was like 16 or 17 where I was obsessed with this idea of being like, I would be like, oh, I'm just like a fucking 2 out of 10, like I'm a loser kind of thing. And that was kind of a recurring thought, was this like obsession with these numbers. And it just clicked then. I just 10 out of 10 made sense as the first thing to get. Because for the first time ever, it's like I feel like it, and that's with my imperfections and everything. I think I'm a 10, and it's a nice reminder to have that I am.
Oh, mate. It's just, yeah, that's just nice. Like, you told me that story a few times now, but like, it still gets me because, like you said, like I know where that's coming from, and I've only just started. I'm 20 now, and I've only just started really to like face it as well. But like, it's just so inspiring. That's the word I want to use for you to be like my friend, and like you say, because like you guys in like Rogues have helped me out so much too in ways that you don't know. Because like me being in a band is something that I wanted to do, but like I just sort of like slap my wrist at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like, and I think around December time, around a December gig, I started falling back into like negative self-sabotaging way, and it made me really anxious about the band. It made me very scared about the band, and like even though we played only 5 gigs, I'm so proud of us. I'm so proud of us. Like we managed to do gigs with like little to no rehearsal. We only had one full band rehearsal for our first gig.
I think we've still only had like 2 full rehearsals ever.
Yeah, probably like 2 or 3 because I remember we had one before our first gig, one before our last gig, and then one in the middle somewhere. I think for the December
I think
gig,
Christmas, yeah.
Christmas one, yeah. And it's like because again, like I know what you were feeling. I probably don't know exactly how, but I know what it is, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. It's just your best friends, and when I say your best friends are your therapists, I don't mean that in like the way that they examine you, but like they're your therapists in the sense what they'll just carry you home, you know. They've
Yeah.
got your back. You don't even have to like they don't even have to like know everything about you. Like they're just there. They're just gonna hug you and talk to you and drink with you and just say stupid shit with you, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
And like, dude, we somehow ended up supporting Strange Bones, 5 gigs deep.
That was
Not even a year
insane.
as a band. Not even a year as a band. We will chuck that opportunity, and it's like when that happened, that's when I was like able to ground myself. Go like, okay, Mika, like I'm in a band with a few of my best friends, and we're supporting Strange Bones.
It's got legs. Like
Yeah,
it's
dude.
amazing how far we've come in such a short time. And
Yeah,
we've only got, and we've time's on our side. We
literally.
keep going for however however fucking long we want. And the fact that we've already supported Stranger Bones, who's like all of our like we'd all
Literally.
collectively orgasm over them on
So
multiple
hard.
times weekly. I imagine.
I see you still listening. I listen to them when I work out, and I see you listen to them when you work out.
Yeah.
Like it's just like whenever I do sit-ups, just whack on Here Come the Wolves, just fucking go. Like just go, go, go. But like it's just like I am proud of you and I'm proud of us and like seeing you and your positivity and like the way you talked about that just now and the first time you told me and like I remember when you first told Aiden and Lewis about it, like they're both just looking at you like this gleam in their eyes, like you just bring other people up. So like thank you, man, because like
Thank you.
you're in my heart.
I
You're in
do
my
have
heart.
something funny to say though.
Go on, yeah,
So
go on.
is Will is who is in Glass Flower.
Yeah,
Will is a very good friend of mine since River Purple, and he's constantly been a very good friend of mine, and he has helped a lot in terms
yeah,
of listening to stuff I had to say when I've had problems, and even not. But going back to that thing where he said sometimes you don't need them to actually analyze you and stuff like that was he when he heard I had a tattoo, he was like, "Oh, what's it of?" And I told him what it was, and he was like, "Oh, what's the meaning behind it?" And I started saying it, and like 2 seconds in, he was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I get it, self-esteem, okay," and just carried on. He just did not give a
you didn't give a shit.
he just didn't care.
See, that's a best friend. That's a
It's
best
great.
friend. Someone who just who knows. He'd be like, yeah, it's that. Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. Like, I remember when we had that whole fight about the tempo in Leeds and recording. Do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
this? When like I was like, this is the tempo of one of our songs, and you guys were all three were like, nah, 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 that's not it. That's not it. And then we go to our engineer Sam, like, oh, this is the tempo that I got, and it's my one. And then like we had like a proper heated moment because you were playing you were either playing no you were playing Pokemon on the DS in between takes waiting for Aiden and Lewis to
Oh
finish their
yeah, I was.
parts and you were just like we were fighting about how long the intro was and we were like it's this long. I was like, oh, I thought it was this long. Oh, the lyrics are wrong. Oh, and then you were just like, Mika, the drummer knows everything, you shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, okay? And then I just sort of turn and go like, you didn't get the tempo right though, did you? And you literally just go, I just like look back down on your DS and you don't move for an hour. You're just there. You don't say a word to anyone. I felt so bad. I was just like, no, I'm not letting this slide. I love you, Neil, but this is not sliding on my watch.
That
Swat.
was it
Like,
was very fair.
It was such a because it was the look in your eyes.
That's just the case of me wanting to just open my mouth and say something for no reason, which I do a lot.
Yes, you do. I mean, to be fair, you are probably the most not aggressive, but out of all four of us in the band, you are probably the most like likely to kill someone in a fight. Like you are. You're a quick like especially like given like the magnitude, the earthquake you caused when you slapped fucking Ollie. Like I don't want you to hit me.
Well,
I'd probably die. Just slap me into another galaxy.
It is a. I mean, the bad thing is I do tend to get a bit like friendly, kind of violent when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Like, which is very bad for Ollie because I go to be like, "Oh, I love you, man," and then I just like floor him, and it's just like all
I just for you again. You just shout Gingy at me. You just go Ginger.
It's a term of endearment.
I know. I don't want to say anything back because I feel like with me, this is my problem. Like, I would say something, say someone says something rude to me, I will say something rude back. But like the thing I'll say is like 10 notches higher than it needs to be.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone's just like, so someone says something rude to me, they go, "Huh?" I say something rude back. They're like, Mika, too far.
It's just a joke, man. Come on.
It's just a joke. I was just playing the game. Relax. I was just playing the game.
Yeah, there's always a problem finding that line. I think that's why no one replies to me when I do.
I'll say things like, or you'll say things like, "Oh, I'm here," and I'll be like, "Yes, Daddy," and you wouldn't comment on it. Like you just accept it. And I'm just like, "Yes, Father."
It's yeah, Rose Gallery is very homoerotic.
It is. I mean, our drummer takes his shirt off all the time. We covered "Wish You Were Gay" one time for Christmas.
We did.
That was so last second.
Yeah, that was not ready for that.
I was not ready for that gig at all. Not ready. People liked it. People really enjoyed it. That was fun. I liked it a lot. I liked being without a guitar for 5 minutes as well, just moving around.
Oh, that
I really enjoyed that.
That's the one thing I'm envious of
What?
frontmen for, just being able to move around like wherever you want.
I don't know if you had this, but maybe Aiden had it a bit. But again, he's had more experience than I. But walking into Loading that night, when it was like they were soundtracking Strange Bones and Fiend Fatale, it was like, oh, this is a different fucking level of gig.
Oh yeah, I
This is
mean
a
that
different
was
level. This is bigger than I was thinking it to be. Do you know what I mean?
the thing. The only reason that I was somewhat slightly prepared for that was because River Purple had happened to just before we broke up done a gig supporting Valeris,
Yes.
who are a very good band who I recommend highly.
Yeah.
Because and they were kind of at that same level of kind of professionalism of Strange Bones, where they're kind of like at that point where they're kind of
Established.
breaking out, but they're
Yeah.
established. And yeah, so we kind of had that wow moment. And with Strange Bones, the only difference was that it was a wow moment at a venue that I've been to since I was 15.
Yeah.
That was kind of the weird thing, going into that room being like, fuck, this is actually
this is happening, and we're part of it. We're not watching it. We're part of this night, and it's insane. Oh god, I remember just walking in, and like it was like all the gear, because obviously like he has his own mic and stuff. They had the screens like next to the drum kit, and it was just like, and obviously like you got to play on Strange Bones' kit as well, and it was just like, terrifying. Yeah, I can imagine. Like, and I was just thinking like, I've been here before. I know this room, but like, fuck me, this is. Are we ready for this?
It was
Are we?
To be fair.
Yeah, we got lucky. We got lucky. We had a lot of people. I had a lot of people as well. Like even like members of the band, Strange Bones and Fiend Fatale came up to us individually and chatted to us, and it wasn't in a way that wasn't like the meme where it's like, "Oh, great set, man," pat on the back. It was like they actually like all talk to us about us and what we play and what we do, what inspires us, and all that shit. And it was just so like, again, it was a moment where it was like, okay, I don't have to be the 10 out of 10 because at least I'm trying, you know?
Yeah.
Because like that was, yeah, like it was just such a. As soon as we went on and started, it was like, oh, this is good. This is nice. This is fun. Like we take advantage of the moment. We got people, but let's just not fuck. Well, let's not fuck it up. But like, let's just have fun, and we did.
Yeah.
And it was a good time. It was a good time.
The way I look at it is always kind of small goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like constantly having just a small next step in mind.
Yeah, literally.
So, which makes it good with gigs. Like, I don't like. Do you get? I don't know why I'm asking. I know you get nervous before gigs.
Oh yeah, you know me.
Yeah.
I am a quipping wreck. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't, and the reason for that is because I literally just decrease the level of next step to kind of thinking about the next 10 minutes. So
Yeah. Wow.
like I just won't clock that I'm playing a gig until I played it, and then afterwards I was like, I just played. Let's just support Strange Bones. This is great.
Yeah, it's like I mean, you're talking about like little steps. I should do that in life. I had like goals for us guys. It's like it was stuff like, oh, do a single, play a big release show, get a decent crowd, headline the Horn one night. Hopefully, we headline the Horn. It doesn't mean a lot. It doesn't mean a lot headlining a venue because like you're just playing a gig. There's no merit to it. You just have a bit more time to play. It doesn't matter. But it's like in my head, I was able to say, "Oh, we've done this, blah blah blah," and like in this egotistical way, I'm proud of us because proud of us because we've headlined the Horn twice. We have people who actually like our shit. That's amazing. We haven't finished them obviously, but we have recorded
Yeah.
2 songs already. We know each other. We've got each other's backs, and we somehow supported Strange Bones.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
like
just a very good vibe throughout
yeah.
the back. Like I've just got a very good feeling about it in terms of the
So
future.
it can only get better from here.
Yeah.
Like it's just I'm just so happy to have you boys. I'm so happy it's you boys that I've got. Like
Hey, I'm happy that you know,
yeah,
good songwriter. To be honest, like that was
thank you.
unexpected. I mean, I'll be honest. It was unexpected because I didn't
Yeah,
like. I went
we
on
didn't
the
really
face of
know
it.
me, so
Yeah,
like
and on the face of it, you just kind of went, yeah, I've been playing guitar for like a year,
yeah, not even
and
that. Like
yeah, like months, and yeah, and I'm gonna send you a song I wrote. I was just kind of like, okay, give it, let's see what it's like. And then it turned
oh
out being really good. It was kind of the Overcoast thing again. It was
yeah,
just kind
it
of
was
like,
Overcoast all over
yeah,
again. And like, I should point out by what I just said, by the way, I'm not saying I don't care about headlining the Horn. It's an honor. Thank you, Luke, and all the lads at Juicebox. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you're a local band, it's kind of like not dickish, but don't be like, oh, we headlined this venue. It's
yeah,
like, well, yeah, you played a gig. It doesn't matter.
yeah. Like
It
the
doesn't
same
matter
amount of people
what.
signed up regardless.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like you played a gig and you had a laugh. All
yeah.
that you need to care about.
If
All that you
anything,
should.
if anything, some of the people I know are like, I'm not coming to that gig if you're headlining. Like you're on way too late. I want to go to bed.
Literally,
So,
yeah. Like my bus, the last bus back to my house is at 10 o'clock. You play at 10:30. No, I'm not gonna come. Like the earlier the better. Case in point, Strange Bones were on at like what 8:15.
yeah,
Oh my god, that's what threw me into the panic because we got there at like 7 and we were like, oh, it's a late night, it's a big band night. Oh, it starts at 9 o'clock, whatever. And Paul Lai was like, you're on a 8:15. I was like, that's less than an hour. You're fucking kidding me. Like, I just like
yeah,
immediately went into panic mode, but you like pulled me out. You basically said,
yeah,
"Boy," you literally went, "Gingy, shut the fuck up again." Downed a beer, poured a beer, went on stage, played a set, had a laugh, sweated my
yeah.
ass off because I
I
forgot to
mean,
take off the biker jacket after every song. Good
I
time.
mean, my view on stage day nerves, like obviously I get nerves if you're nervous for a show in the days in advance if you know you're not really ready for it or anything like that.
Yeah,
But from a stage, obviously, like it's understandable to be nervous for it because people aren't rational all the time. But
yeah,
when you're on the day of a show and you get that kind of thing where you're like you hear you're on an hour instead of two, it's like from a rash like I just kind of think
yeah.
of it from the point of view like what difference does it make? Like you're not it's not like you're gonna
Literally.
practice for that hour. Like
No, exactly, exactly.
it's just yeah
It's like when we had the last Christmas gig. Anyone's ghost pulled out, and so that means like all the bands had a bit more time. But it's like we could have pulled out a few more tunes, but we are just like, no, let's just play the set we are gonna play and leave it at
yeah.
that. There's no need. That way we got
Um,
that way all the people in the room have got the whole night to themselves. They're not
yeah.
bored.
My biggest pet peeve is with local bands is when they overstay their welcome.
Yeah, that's the thing. It
Like
can be a thing.
because here's the thing, like when people ask for one more song, if you've got the time, then it's
Do it.
great to
Yeah.
play one more song. But people will. The problem with crowds is that they'll ask for one more song to the point where then the final song you play, they will just hate it.
Yeah,
Like there'll
it's
be
because you
like
already
one
played the
more song
best
to the
one.
point, yeah, and
Yeah.
then the last one they'll just be like, actually no, why like what the fuck is this? And then that's their memory of it, and because it's the last thing you've done.
Serpentine. Oh yeah, you know. Oh, dude, right. Before I kick you off forever and never talk to you ever again, do you have any? So you've already talked about like your own well-being. Like, how are you doing, like mentally and all this, and how are you keeping yourself sane? And is there any advice for people? Like, even if it's the basic have a routine, like what would you tell people right now just to chill out to or help them?
I would I would say that's a very good question actually. What have I been doing? um, I just kind of say make make the most of it, not in the sense that you have to do stuff,
Mm.
but like I think I've been susceptible to it where I kind of came back from uni and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be at home for ages.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna see my friends and all that. But like we're in a day and age of the internet and stuff like that. It's easier than ever to talk to people.
yeah,
And I've realized if anything, I haven't actually spent as much time with my family and stuff like that as I
yeah,
have, and actually making an effort to do that has helped me a lot because it feels like I'm getting something out of it, even though it's not what I intended to be.
yeah.
So I'd say just try and look at stuff that you haven't done yet, or maybe given as much time to, even if it's something as simple as if you're a workaholic, just relaxing and not doing anything.
That was, yeah. I definitely say that. Like, it sounds so weird. I'm making the effort to hug my parents more.
Mm,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so little, but it helps you and it helps them as well.
yeah.
Like, you won't even know. But yeah, thank you for that. And the very last quick question: what would you suggest people to listen to? Album, artist, anything like that?
Riley Ritchie's "You're a Man Now, Boy" is an album
Hey,
that I am very very fond of. I've gone into it a lot. I assume you know,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know
yeah.
on that, but like because he's Riley Ritchie, for people who don't know, is the guy who plays Grey Worm off of Game of Thrones, who also happens to be a very very talented musician. And it's a very good album in terms of being introspective and thinking about anxiety and just mental health and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
feel it's
my
very much
mate, so good.
it's very good, and he's got his new album coming out in a month or so. So
Oh,
definitely listen
sick.
to that because it's very good, and you should be clued up for when he releases that.
My mate Kieran turned me on to Rayleigh back in when I was, I think it was year. It was around the same time I got into Tyler the Creator, so it might have been like year 9, year 10, or
Hmm.
year 8. Year 8, even how old was I in year 8? I was 15. Was he about 15? Rayleigh? Was he rapping?
It is
I can't remember.
the first EP was
Can't remember.
2014, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, because I remember Kieran went to see him in like this really small London venue, and it was just packed out and mental.
Yeah,
Because I think he had like two like vinyl EPs out at that point, and he had them both signed or something. I don't remember, but yeah, I'll one up you on that one. That's an awesome suggestion. Just good beats, good tunes, but like addressing things that need to be talked about too. So
yeah.
hell yeah to that. Hell yeah. We've been going for an hour. My God.
Have we? Jesus,
Yeah. Right. Okay. I am going to kick you off now, Neil. I love you. Thank you
love you
so
too.
much. It was so
Thank
good
you for
seeing your
having me.
face again because I haven't seen your face in a long time,
No, it's been a while.
a very
All
long
right,
time. Oh, dude. Take care, yeah?
you too, man.
God bless you.
See ya.
He warms my heart in so many ways, and I miss him, and I miss you all. Like, Jesus, I miss all my friends. There was a lot of bands mentioned in this video, but I'll link Neil's ones down below, and through there you can find the rest, like Gold Reed or Rattlesnake, Pre-Post, all of them. They're all there for you. And until then, take care of yourself. I love you. We love you. You're doing great no matter what you're doing. We'll see you next time, yeah?